So I hope the screen is visible and the voice is audible. If yes, so just put a message so that we can begin with the class. Okay, fine. So now, in today's class, we are going to discuss about the equivalent circuit and frequency limitations. So in that, we already discussed about the equivalent circuit of JFET. So here, what we have discussed in the previous session is that we have considered one NPN, sorry, not NPN. We have considered one N channel JFET, which I will draw here. Okay, so using this N channel JFET, we have drawn the equivalent circuit. This is called as gate, this is drain, and this is source. So here we have assumed that for this N channel JFET, it has internal capacitors like this, connected between gate to source, connected between gate to drain, and connected between drain to source. Like this we have assumed, and then we have drawn the equivalent circuit, right? Here, and we name that between the gate and source, the capacitance is called as CGS. Similarly, between the gate and drain, the capacitor is called as CGD, and similarly for drain to source. Once we discussed about the capacitors, then we have assumed that there is also a diffusion resistors which are present in the N channel JFET. Like between the gate to source, we call it as the resistance, okay, that is RGS, right? Similarly, we have discussed about drain to source and gate to drain. Now assume that these three are the resistors which are occurred during the diffusion of P or N type material into the substrate, here shown as a substrate. Here in this, the substrate is nothing but P-type material, and N-type material has been doped. So that's why you call it as these three resistors are belongs to the diffusion. Once they have doped, they will diffuse from N-type to P-type material, like in diode. So in a similar way, the diffusion process will take place, and we call them as resistors occurred due to the diffusion process when there is a doping of N-type or P-type material into the N-type or P-type material. Okay, so now here in this diagram, which is shown in the equivalent circuit of JFET, here three terminals are there: source, gate, and drain. So this is the fabrication figure which is shown here. It has three terminals, and these two are the series resistors. Like the resistance across source we call it as RS, the resistance across the drain we call it as RD. These two are the series resistors which occurs between the channel. This is the channel here, between the channel of N-type MOSFET, N-type JFET. So now this we call it as cross-sectional view of JFET. Why I call it as cross-sectional view, which is shown here. So what we discussed in the previous session is that here this is one P-type or P channel JFET, right? In this P channel JFET, what I'm showing right now is a top view of P channel JFET. If I cut it in a cross section, means if I take this part of the P channel JFET, I call it as cross sectional view. Means 1/3 part of that top view has been crossed or taken out, and that view which are shown in the diagram here. So this is nothing but cross sectional view, and this cross sectional view is used to explain the fabrication process also. Okay, so now just assume that this is a cross sectional view of n channel JFET, okay, where it has three terminals: source, gate, and drain, and it has two resistors, RS and RD, where RS is connected across the source and RD is connected across the drain terminal. And these two are called as series resistors, which occurs during the fabrication of n-channel JFET. Okay, now this is a cross-sectional view. Now we'll move on to the equivalent circuit of JFET. So what is the equivalent circuit? Here the symbol of n-channel JFET has been replaced into the equivalent circuit, which is shown here. So this is what we already discussed in the previous session. I have shown you how to draw this equivalent circuit using capacitors and resistors. So now look at this. Here in this equivalent circuit diagram, which is drawn using the equivalent components to replace the symbol of n-channel JFET. I hope you guys getting this one. So if I, wait a second. So if I draw the n-channel JFET like this, I am just repeating the same thing which I have discussed. So this is arrow mark, which indicates that this belongs to n-channel JFET with gate, drain, and source. So now here, first between the gate to source, we have connected one resistor called as RGS. Okay. Next, then with the base that gate to source, we have a capacitor called CGS. Similarly, between gate to drain, we have one capacitor and one resistor. So these capacitors are nothing but CGD, that is gate to drain capacitance. We call them as internal capacitance or junction capacitance, which are neglected in the symbol, but here we are considering them because we need to study the effect of these capacitors and resistors on the output current. So that's why we are discussing this equivalent circuit of JFET. Okay. So now, same as RGD is there, this is a diffusion resistance between gate to drain. So when I comes to this part has first current source. We drawn here GM into VGS dash. VGS dash is nothing but internal gate to source voltage. Okay, this is internal to gate to source voltage, which is present before applying any voltage. Okay, where GM is nothing but what? Transconductance. And we already discussed transconductance. GM is nothing but what? In terms of symbol, we have IDS divided by VGS. I hope you guys remember this, which we have discussed, where IDS is the output, VGS is the input. But here VGS dash is taken because this current belongs to now the internal components which is used to construct a JFET. So that's why it is drawn as VGS dash. Okay, only that is a change. That is, if I write IDS is nothing but I have to multiply these two, that it becomes GM into VGS dash, which is shown here. Okay, transconductance means output is current, input is voltage. The ratio of output current with respect to input voltage is nothing but transconductance, denoted by GM. Okay, so that's why here the current source is replaced by, that is nothing but IDS here. Here the current which is nothing but ID. So this ID or IDS you can call, which is GM into VGS dash. Now the next thing, between the drain to source, we have one capacitor, one resistor. So this is a internal capacitance, or junction capacitance. This is diffusion resistance. Then there are two series resistors. One is RS, one is RD. So these two are shown already in the cross-sectional view of JFET. So this source resistance is connected from the source terminal to ground here. So that you have to make changes, not source here. This is ground. Okay, once I send you the notes, or I think I already sent the notes, just change that. This is not source, this is ground terminal. And this is under resistance, and we call it as RD, connected from drain terminal. These two are series resistors, which occurs during the fabrication of JFET. Okay, now this is the scenario here. Now from this, what we are going to discuss, we want the effect of series resistance or the diffusion resistance or the capacitors or the output current, which is nothing but IDS here. That is what we are going to discuss. Because of that, we are doing this much. I hope you guys getting this one. Okay, so now, so this is the diagram which is drawn from the symbol of MOSFET using cross-sectional view. Now I'll move on to the next so that we can derive the expression for drain to source current using all these components. So first, we'll move on to the figure B. So this is figure B here. This figure B is drawn. Okay, now look at this figure B now. So how it is drawn? So I will show you. First thing what we have done here, between the gate to source, okay, we have taken the voltage called as VGS. So this is the gate to source voltage, first thing, because this is the input voltage which is applied between gate to source. Then here we call it as ideal small signal low frequency equivalent circuit. So when we consider this as a low frequency equivalent circuit, then what happens here, as we know that the reactance Xc of the capacitor is always inversely proportional to omega into C, where J indicates this reactance belongs to the capacitor. So now if omega is 2 pi f, what I will get? We can write Xc. I hope you guys already know this reactance formula. Is nothing but 1 divided by J. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. I will write this as 2 pi f into C. F is the frequency, C is the capacitor, capacitance of the capacitor, Xc is the reactance. Now look at this equation here. Frequency is inversely proportional to the reactance. Low frequency means high reactance. So based on this concept, here what we have drawn the circuit here, this circuit is ideally small signal low frequency equivalent circuit. So when I consider this as a low frequency, then I can say that the reactance of all these capacitors which is shown here, the reactance of all these capacitors like CGD, CGS, CDS are very, very high, okay, for low frequency. Then at this case, they act as an open circuit. Okay, because of high reactance, they act as an open circuit. Similarly, these diffusion resistors also has no role at low frequency. Okay, because the resistors at this time is around milliohms, which are very, very negligible. Okay, so now what I left with is here RD and RS. So that I will consider in the third circuit. So first, neglecting RD and RS, what we can draw here? We can draw the ideal small signal low frequency equivalent circuit with VGS is the input voltage between the gate to source. And these two are neglected for low frequency. Between the gate to drain, these two are neglected, hence it is open circuit. Now at this terminal also, we have neglected series and internal diffusion and junction capacitors also. So that's why what I left with this, only this one, GM into VGS dash. Here instead of VGS dash, I have written VGS because we have considered for low frequency component. That's why I've directly taken as VGS, because there are no internal resistors and capacitors here. That's why there should not be VGS dash, because VGS dash is also internal gate to source voltage. That's why it is also neglected. So we only consider the main voltage. The main voltage here is VGS, which is applied between the gate to source. Okay, so that's why figure B indicates only one voltage, which is applied here, VGS, and because of that we have a one current source, that is IDS, nothing but GM into VGS. This is what figure B. From figure B, now what is the drain to source current? Because we want to calculate the drain to source current. That is our intention. Because of that, we are doing all these things. Now from this figure B, the drain to source current IDS is nothing but what? GM into VGS, because VGS is the input, IDS is the output. As from the definition of GM, output by input. Output is IDS and input is VGS. So that's why we have written here GM into VGS is nothing but current source if I multiply to this. So that's why here IDS. From this we can say that the drain to source current IDS is nothing but GM into VGS. This is what we got from figure B. So when I look at the figure C now, this one. So in the figure C, we have assumed that only one resistor, that is, let us consider source resistance Rs. Then draw the equivalent circuit. If I consider source series resistance Rs, then what happens to the drain to source current? Here at this terminal, we have VGS. Now at this terminal between gate to source, we have VGS dash. Why we have VGS dash? Because from the source towards the ground, we have connected one series source resistance. So that's why the voltage between the gate to ground is equivalent to now gate to source and source to ground. So that's why we have written here as VGS, here as VGS dash. That is the internal gate to source voltage. At this point, considering series resistance Rs. Okay. So now here at this time, when VGS dash is there, then we will got the current source as GM into VGS dash. So from this we can say that now the drain to source current is nothing but GM into VGS dash in terms of internal current, because we have considered VGS dash here. Now using figure B and figure C, we are going to derive the expression for IDS, and we will study what will be the effect of source resistance on IDS. That is what we are going to discuss. So I hope it is clear for everyone up to this much. If yes, put a message in the chat box, okay, so that we move on to the derivation now. To do it first, I have just explained which is required for the derivation part. So I'm expecting everyone to respond in the chat box. Okay, this is very simple concept. Replace symbol by its equivalent components. That is what I have done. Then we have considered the internal capacitance and resistors. Then consider low frequency, neglect the terms, draw the equivalent circuit, that is figure B. Then consider only one series resistance, draw the equivalent circuit. Now calculate IDS based on that. Okay, now we move on to the derivation. So remember these two diagrams. One figure B and another one figure C. Using these two, I am going to derive the expression for IDS, and we will study what will be the factor that affects the IDS. That is what we are going to discuss. Now, so this is the explanation which I will explain right now. Just go through this explanation, we will understand. Okay. So now we'll move on to the derivation. So now what I will do, so let us consider the ideal equivalent circuit operates at low frequency, that is figure B, this one. Okay. Now I'm considering this figure B. Okay. Now low frequency, then the equivalent circuit is shown in figure B, where drain to source current is given by IDS equals to GM into VGS. Okay, this I already explained, and I will take it as equation 1, where GM is nothing but transconductance, VGS nothing but gate to source input signal voltage. Now, this is the first equation. So from this, we have to derive the expression. What I will do, let us consider the small signal equivalent circuit, assuming the effect of source series resistance. So now I will consider the effect of series resistance connected across source, so which is shown in the figure C here. So this is figure C, considering the effect of source resistance RS. So if I consider this, what happens here, which is shown. So let us consider that which is shown in figure C. Now from figure C, the drain to source current is given by ID is equals to what? GM into VGS dash, because I have considered series resistance. So now I have to consider or calculate what will be the VGS dash. If I get this, now I will move on to that one. So how to get VGS dash from equation 2? So to get VGS dash from equation 2, I will use figure C. So look at here figure C. From figure C, what I am going to do? I will apply the KVL at this path. So if I apply the KVL at this path, look at how many voltages are there. First, we have VGS. Second, we have VGS dash. And the third, we have the current here is IDS, which flows like this. This is the path. So third current or voltage is IDS into RS. These are the three voltages. Okay, one VGS, because I'm following this closed path. VGS dash is the second voltage. The third voltage, according to Ohm's law, is IDS is the current and RS is the resistance. V equals to I into R. IDS into RS. These are the three voltages occurs in the input side of the figure C. So now that is the same thing is written here also. Now look at this. Applying KVL to the input circuit of JFET, that is figure C. What we have? We have VGS minus of VGS dash minus of IDS into RS equals to 0. I hope you know already KVL. The same thing I have applied here. So what I need is equation from equation 2, I need VGS dash. So let us solve this for VGS dash. So if I solve this for VGS dash, so what I will get? First VGS is written as it is. VGS dash is also written as it is, minus GM into VGS dash, because from equation 2, IDS is nothing but what? GM into VGS dash. That's why it is written here GM into VGS dash, replacing IDS into RS equals to 0. Now what I have to do? We have to separate the VGS dash term from this equation. So like this, VGS dash you have to take at one side, and the remaining parameters you have to take on the other side. So what I will get? So here, if I separate these two, like here in this, VGS dash is common. What I will get? The remaining term here, 1 plus GM into RS, which is written here. Okay. So now we got VGS equals to VGS dash into bracket of 1 plus GM into RS. Now from this, what do VGS dash will get? VGS dash we will get as VGS divided by 1 plus GM into RS. So this is what we have get in here, right? Because this will multiply to the denominator of VGS. So once we got VGS dash, take it as equation 3. Now substitute 3 in 1. What is the one equation here? This is IDS equals to GM into VGS, right? So what we will get? Sorry, in equation, not in equation 1, we have to substitute this in equation 2. So just change this one. This is not 1. This is what? This is equation 2. Substitute 3 in 2 in this equation, because we got VGS dash. So once you substitute here, what I will get? IDS equals to GM into bracket of VGS divided by 1 plus GM into RS. This is becomes equation 4. So what I need is IDS equals to GM into VGS, which is from equation 1 here. But what I get? I get GM into VGS divided by 1 plus GM into RS from equation 4. So it is clear that here the drain current IDS is reduced by a factor of 1 plus GM into RS. So if I only consider the effect of source resistance RS, then the drain current is reduced by this much of factor. If I consider the source resistance. Similarly, if I consider the drain resistance also, it again reduces the drain current. Means here reducing the drain current is nothing but we are controlling the output current using series resistors like RS and RD. From this we can say that the JFET current can be controlled using series resistors. This is the concept that we need to understand. So now I hope it is clear for everyone the derivation with the figure B, figure C concept. Okay. So if you guys understood, just put as yes for this explanation. If you want to repeat any particular part, I will repeat. Very simple derivation here. So I will do the repetition for that part also. Do it fast so that I have left it only under 2 or 3 minutes. If you want to repeat a particular part in the derivation, I will repeat the same thing. So I'm expecting everyone. If anyone having the problem, I will do the repetition. Don't worry. Very simple procedure is there. Just write the equation of current equation, then apply the KVL at figure C, and then rearrange the terms, get VGS dash, substitute there, you will get IDS. From the IDS of equation 4, we will get the clear factor that the drain current IDS reduced by a factor of 1 plus GM into RS. From this, we can say that the drain current IDS can be controlled with the factor of 1 plus GM into RS. So using series resistor, we can control JFET beyond their limitation. So that is the concept here, nothing else. Okay. Okay. So now everyone responded as yes. So I hope it is clear for everyone. That's a good thing. So now in the next class, what I'm going to do? In the next class, the topic is frequency limitation factor and cutoff frequency of JFET. So here, now I only consider the effect of capacitors. Okay. So now we will discuss what happens to the current of JFET if we only consider the capacitors. The previous topic, we only consider the series resistors, either RS or RD, and we have checked the drain current IDS. Now, in the next topic, what I am going to do, I only consider the capacitors between the gate to source, between the gate to drain. Here, drain to source capacitor is neglected because it has no role, okay, because it is very, very negligible. The main role will be played by gate to source capacitor and gate to drain capacitor. In the next class, we are going to discuss what happens to the drain current, that is IDS, once we consider gate to source and gate to drain capacitors to the JFET. And what will be the role of frequency in such parameter? That is what we are going to discuss. That is what it says, frequency limitation factors and cutoff frequency of JFET. That is, how much frequency need to be maintained for the JFET to operate, that is cutoff frequency. This much of minimum frequency is required to operate JFET. Then what are the limitation factors that affect the JFET? That is what we are going to discuss in the next session. Okay. So now start sending your USA numbers so that we can take the attendance. Do it fast. So I hope everyone has sent your US numbers. Do it fast. Okay, fine. So hope everyone has sent your US numbers. So now we will wind up the class for today. In the next session, we will start with the frequency limitation factors. Okay. So thank you for attending the class.